This was insane. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney was one of the most highly anticipated fights in recent times, with Ryan basically losing his mind, drinking, and looking like he was not taking the fight seriously at all in the build-up, with almost everyone writing him off in a fight that had one of the most controversial results. So this was the night that Ryan Garcia shocked the world.
And by the way, we're Punch Talk and are bringing you guys daily combat sports videos, so if you're enjoying the content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel. Ryan Garcia was in an interesting place in the boxing world after taking a loss to Gervonta Davis in their mega fight and then getting a comeback win against Oscar Duarte, with his comeback win setting up a massive fight against Devin Haney, with these two having fought 6 times in the amateurs, both having won 3 times each. They knew each other very well, and this was sure to be an amazing fight with 2 very high level young fighters at the super lightweight division. The lead up for this fight was very interesting. You had Ryan Garcia going absolutely crazy in the lead up, putting out multiple concerning videos on social media where it seemed like he was drinking non-stop, not taking the fight seriously, and there was even risk that the fight was going to be cancelled altogether with all of the antics that Ryan Garcia was putting up in the lead up.
Yeah, Ryan was pretty much leading up to this fight on social media all day, all night, 24/7. It seemed like, how could he possibly be training for this fight like he should? As a top professional boxer, it seemed like he was on Twitter Spaces all day.
Doing, bro? How's training going? Everything
amazing, bro. Looking good, training good. I'm laughing because I'm high.
What's next for you?
I'm gonna beat Sean O'Malley's ass in MMA. I never let a dude with rainbow hair beat me in my life.
He was going crazy in interviews and social media posts, bringing attention to all those conspiracy theories and all the stuff that led up into that build-up. It just didn't seem like he was focused on having a fight, let alone the biggest fight of his life, let alone going up against a world champion in Devin Haney, who has had a decent resume up until that point, beating the likes of Vasily Lomachenko, Jorge Linares, Regis Prograis, and Ryan Garcia kind of seemed like another one of those guys that Devin Haney was probably a little bit better of a boxer than, but Ryan Garcia maybe had the attributes and speed, but would Ryan be able to catch him? He did have a loss against Tank Davis less than a year before this fight, so many maybe don't remember, but Ryan Garcia was a huge underdog going into this fight. A lot of people, especially purists and hardcore boxing fans, did not think that Ryan even really stood much of a chance against Devin, who was pretty much seen as the new age Floyd Mayweather. In hindsight, maybe definitely over exaggerating there, but Devin was a more fundamental, simple boxer, staying behind that jab, a little bit of the shoulder rolling style. He's kind of been straying away from that in recent fights, but he's a good pure boxer, gets a lot of decision wins, not really known for having the hardest hitting hands, not known for having that one hitter quitter, maybe like Ryan does a little bit more, if not a lot more. Devin was kind of known for his pillow fist, but when it came to the skills, nobody had beaten Devin up until this point, at least as a pro, and sure, Ryan had the history, but if he wasn't taking this fight seriously, how was he going to win this fight?
Yeah, most definitely. So the narrative was definitely in Devin Haney's favor. People were really just assuming Ryan Garcia was going to get completely outclassed and beaten probably to a decision, but that's not what we saw at all. In this fight, Ryan Garcia seemed to be the much faster guy, was able to catch Devin Haney multiple times throughout that fight. He was able to get the respect very early from Devin Haney, having rocked him in the very first round, and we saw early on the power difference between the two. Maybe Devin Haney was the more technical guy, the guy that could win the rounds, but Ryan Garcia had the equalizer and the speed. He was able to hurt Devin Haney that early on, and this would be a huge tell for the rest of the fight. He would go on to drop Devin Haney about 3 times in that fight. And honestly, it should have been even more. The ref was doing some interesting stuff throughout that fight. But overall, Ryan Garcia was the one that was up, celebrating over Devin Haney when he was dropping him. And honestly, it was a surprise to see Devin Haney looked a bit out of his depth in there. Sure, he was winning some of the rounds. When you're talking about the impactful moment, winning the round strong, that was definitely in Ryan Garcia's favor. Having the huge power advantage, the speed advantage, was just able to beat Devin Haney to the punch, using that explosive left hook that he has, and it was honestly a real shock to see. Devin Haney was just not able to do much with Ryan Garcia, and it was a massive shock to the boxing world.
Yeah, Devin Haney seemed very susceptible to that left hook of Ryan Garcia, which is pretty much his signature punch. That's what he's put down so many people with. That's how he's gotten so many of his knockouts. And Devin Haney was saying in the lead up, all Ryan Garcia has is a left hook. If he doesn't land that, he has nothing. He's a one-dimensional fighter.
He wants to land the hook. That's all he has. After that, it's nothing more. Once you handicap him,
he won't have any answers for my skills, but it ended up being Devin Haney who didn't have the answer for the left hook, which is the thing that he said Ryan Garcia only had, and I guess it was the only thing that Ryan needed. So Ryan had done it. He beat Devin Haney. He got the decision win. It was a majority decision. A lot of people thought that was definitely pretty clear to Ryan Garcia's way with how many 10-8s he got and how many times he was hurting Devin. Sure, Devin maybe won a couple rounds here and there, but Ryan had the impactful moments and seemed like he definitely did enough to win. But this wouldn't be the end of this story, as Ryan Garcia would go on to test positive for the banned substance Ostarine. The fight would be overturned to a no contest, and this whole win for Ryan would kind of just be tainted. It seemed like both guys were tested leading up to the fight, and then only on the week of the fight does Ryan test positive. Some experts have said that wouldn't have had any effect in Ryan Garcia's system, that wouldn't have really enhanced his performance, but regardless, whether it was intentional, whether it wasn't, Ryan Garcia had PEDs in his system. He claims, I guess, it was tainted supplements and that he would never take steroids, but he tested positive. The results say what they do, and the fight is officially overturned, with Ryan Garcia now having that huge moment, the biggest of his career, beating Devin Haney, even though he missed weight and wasn't even eligible to win the world title. Regardless, even without a world title on the line, that was his biggest moment of his career. That was his crowning moment, a star-making performance. People were saying Ryan Garcia could be the future face of boxing if he keeps on putting performances on like this. Now he's returning, but he had a year suspension from popping for Ostarine, and that whole fiasco has really tainted not only this performance, but Ryan Garcia's career going forward.
Yeah, it's really just a shame that this whole situation had to happen. It's just really unfortunate that that huge moment for Ryan Garcia had to be ruined, and even the moment for Devin Haney in a way, because now he can say, and honestly maybe rightfully so, that he didn't get beat fair and square, in which he shouldn't have lost the fight. So anyways, it did get overturned, and originally Devin Haney was even suing Ryan Garcia until the lawsuit got dropped, because most likely they're going to be rematching it if they're both able to win their next fight, as they're fighting on the same card in Times Square. A huge 3-fight card consisting of Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, and Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez, and Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza Jr. So this is going to be a huge showing for both Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Ryan, if he's able to come back even after getting the fight overturned and all of the controversies, if he can beat a solid guy in Rolly Romero that has been in there against some other tough guys like a Tank Davis, and if Devin Haney can show if he's not affected by getting dropped all those times, losing on the night of the fight, and if he can bounce back, have that same confidence, put on a good showing, and then we see this huge rematch occur, there's going to be a lot of hype for this, especially because of all the controversies of the first fight, but we're going to have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, honestly, for both parties, it's a shame because Devin Haney took a beating. And if Ryan was really on performance-enhancing substances and that actually did enhance his performance, then that's just not what you want to see. It doesn't set a good precedent at this level, but it's insane when you look back on that night that Ryan Garcia shocked the world, that he put down Devin Haney again and again and again. He shocked the world at the time in one of the biggest fights of last year, and now it's just a shame how much this result has really been tainted. So let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney and Ryan shocking the world. But if you guys enjoyed and want to see the night Ryan got destroyed, check out the video on screen.